The 2017 journey of the Mackenzie Tour PGA Tour Canada has come to an end, but we were there for all the excitement. We trekked from coast to coast watching the action unfold as players chase their dreams inside the ropes.
It feels unbelievable. It's great validation for me. Happy to sit in that #1 spot.
While off the course, the Mackenzie Tour always took the time to impact its communities.
I think it's a connection to the community through giving that really makes us different as a sporting organization.
Up next, we take a look back at the 2017 season on This is the Mackenzie Tour PGA Tour Canada. This is the Mackenzie Tour PGA Tour Canada. This season of the Mackenzie Tour PGA Tour Canada has been full of excitement. 10 players hoisted trophies and 2 players, Patrick Newcomb and Kramer Hickok, netted 2 titles. We teed off the season in Vancouver, British Columbia for the Freedom 55 Financial Open, where everyone's ultimate objective was to make it to the top 5 to earn a Web.com tour card for 2018.
I wanted to win out here, and I wanted to secure a Web.com card. That's everybody's goal out here, is to come out and get a Web.com card in advance.
And right out of the gate, Mackenzie Tour first-timer Lee McCoy took that first step. With back-to-back birdies in his final 2 holes, the 23-year-old finished 20 under par for the week, winning by 8 strokes, the largest margin of victory ever on the Mackenzie Tour and the lowest score in the history of the tournament.
It means a lot, first of all, just to be exempt for the rest of the season. It was really amazing. My goal today was to get to 20, and I did, and that means so much to me. It's certainly one of the most memorable weeks of my life.
The tour then traveled next door to Uplands Golf Club in Victoria for the Bayview Place Cardtronics Open presented by Times Colonist, where second-year player Max Rotliff took home his 2nd career Mackenzie Tour title.
It's unbelievable to get a win early in the season. It frees you up. From now on, you gotta make sure to keep the pedal down and keep building on those results.
We then picked up the action at the Golf BC Championship in Kelowna, where competition heated up as Alabama's Robbie Shelton found himself in a 4-way battle for the title. The 22-year-old rookie made the turn on the back 9 with a birdie to go 1-up on the chase pack and never looked back.
Just to win anywhere is so exciting. Just to know that my game's there, to finally get one done feels great.
After the break, we see how the second half of the season unfolded and then look back at the amazing season of the Player of the Year, Kramer Hickok.
It feels unbelievable. It's great validation for me, coming in the year.
All that and more next. This is the Mackenzie Tour PGA Tour Canada. This season on the Mackenzie Tour PGA Tour Canada, the players explored some of the country's best cities with breathtaking sights and unique culture. From the City of Gardens, Victoria.
They call it Bayview Place, but I didn't really know what to expect until you got up here, and then, that's almost a 360-degree view of the city.
To the dual French-English city of Montreal.
From here, you've got a pretty good view of the river. So that's the St. Lawrence. You go out about 1,600 kilometers out that way to get to Quebec City and then the Atlantic.
There was never a dull moment before the week's action. But it wasn't just a sightseeing tour across Canada. Some of our players picked up a few new skills along the way.
Things first, welcome to battle. And then rule number 4, simply...
Now it's time to throw some axes.
Right there, that's a bullseye.
Can I get a hot tub? Yeah! This is my first time playing pickleball, but I had a great time doing it. Yeah, there we go. There he is. There's the hammer. How many challenges do we get?
Who's ready for some hockey today? Can Hairstyle end it?
With so much excitement throughout the season, working up an appetite was never hard to do. And what better way to refuel than with Canada's local favorites?
The beaver tail is a whole cracked wheat pastry dough that we're gonna cook up, and we're gonna top up with whatever toppings you like. The sweet is the way to go. It's phenomenal.
Players quenched their thirst in one of British Columbia's pioneer wineries.
We've got our 2015 Block 3 Riesling. We're trying the wine that we make from this parcel of fruit here.
They also made their way to some breweries around the region to taste some of Canada's liquid gold.
Mike, you getting ready there? You good?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good.
I'll test it.
There you go.
I love blondes.
Right? Who doesn't?
It's nice.
This is the treasure trove here. Oh, the honey hole. Yeah, that's about as fresh as you can get there. Cheers, guys. Welcome to the air-conditioned part of the tour.
Overall, the players were able to make the most of their days off the course by finding new adventures and learning old traditions across Canada.
Wow.
Holy cow.
Pine Ridge Golf Club served as the picturesque backdrop of the Players' Cup in Winnipeg, Manitoba. Kramer Hickok put together an impressive round, closing with back-to-back birdies to seal the deal and take home his first title on the Mackenzie Tour PGA Tour Canada.
It's unbelievable to be able to go birdie-birdie on probably the most nervous I've ever been in my life. So it's nice to be able to look back on that and say I was able to have my best golf when I needed it the most. That's the type of stuff that we dream of, just making putts to win.
At the Stahl Foundation Open presented by T-Baytel, Johnny Ruiz quietly made a charge in the final round, dropping in 7 birdies to walk away with the title and his first career victory.
Feels awesome. Best win of my career, and hopefully more to come, but it definitely feels good to get one under the belt now.
The Mackenzie Tour then took the action to Quebec for the inaugural Mackenzie Investments Open presented by Jaguar Laval in Montreal. But there was extra incentive on the line for the top 3 players on the order of merit following competition. An exemption into the PGA Tour's RBC Canadian Open. With that in mind, players brought their A game. Hank Lebioda went low on day 1 with a 6 under 64, and then held on to that top spot through rounds 2, 3, and 4, carrying home the trophy at week's end.
This is just reaffirming that the work I put in is good work. It means putting in smarter work, better work, more efficient work, and that's what I'm really proud of.
The top 3 on the order of merit at the end of competition who made their way to the RBC Canadian Open were Robbie Shelton, Johnny Ruiz, and Kramer Hickok. Alongside them, Jared Dutoit and Ryan Williams both earned sponsors exemptions.
That our Player of the Year from Dallas, Texas, Kramer Hickok.
He wrapped up the Mackenzie Tour PGA Tour season as Player of the Year, with 2 victories and earnings that landed him the top spot on the order of merit. And now he's walking away with full status on the Web.com Tour. Wins at the Ontario Championship hosted by National Pines Golf Club and the Players' Cup, plus 3 runner-up finishes, solidified a great season and earned Kramer Hickok a solid reputation on the Mackenzie Tour.
His game's unbelievably good. If he gets that flat stick rolling, you just watch out. I respect him as a person and as a player.
Seems like he doesn't make any mistakes, and that's what you have to do to play well. It's really fun to watch, and all parts of his game are great. As a person, I mean, he's the best out here. He's just a high-class guy. He honestly is. And I'm not saying that because I'm on TV or anything, but playing with him and getting to know him has been great.
I know Kramer now for 4 or 5 years. He played in college a bunch. Seeing him progress has been very impressive. Showing you how hard work and determination, working on the right things, definitely pays off.
His first year on the Mackenzie Tour wasn't always easy. Tested several times along the way, but unwilling to be deterred, Hickok was always able to put together an impressive round when he needed it most.
It's been a long journey, a lot of ups and downs, but I think if you ask anyone, my game's gotten better each and every year. I'm an extremely hard worker. I just love the game, and I love getting better. I love that aspect of it, that you got to put in the time in order to get better. It's an extremely skilled sport, not all about talent. The other aspect that I've started to learn is you have to believe in yourself, and that's been probably the most important part.
Hickok closed out a solid week at the Freedom 55 Financial Championship with a T10 finish to lock in the top spot on the Order of Merit, cementing a hard-earned full exempt status on the 2018 Web.com Tour.
It feels unbelievable. It's great validation for me. You know, coming in the year, I barely made it through Q school. You know, it just shows the depth of the field. Extremely happy with the way my game progressed and happy to sit in that #1 spot.
Coming up on This is the Mackenzie Tour PGA Tour Canada. We sit down with Canadian Player of the Year, Jared Dutoit.
This year I've really learned that my best golf can compete with, just about anybody out here.
And later, revisit the impact the Mackenzie Tour had on its communities through its charitable giving. All that and more, next. This is the Mackenzie Tour PGA Tour Canada. The Mackenzie Tour PGA Tour Canada has always been rooted in giving back. And as the tour traveled across the country this season, it left an indelible impact on the communities it touched. From visiting with children and families coping with illness,
high five,
to growing the next generation of golfers, and everything in between. The Mackenzie Tour reached outside the ropes to make a difference in every city.
I think it's a connection to the community through giving that really makes us different as a sporting organization.
Of course, in Canada, hockey is always a great way to drive donations. In Vancouver, Canucks forwards Daniel and Hedrick Sedin helped raise money for the Canucks for Kids Foundation during the Freedom 55 Financial Open. While in Thunder Bay, the Stahl brothers raised more than $271,000 for children battling cancer in northwestern Ontario during the Stahl Foundation Open presented by T-Baytel. In Ottawa, golf was the vehicle, as the National Capital Open to support our troops teamed up with the Canadian Armed Forces to support Soldier On, an organization which helps more than 2,000 members reconnect with life through sports.
Big Bird.
2017 was quite the season for charitable giving on the Mackenzie Tour PGA Tour Canada.
Canada's a big team. At the end of the day, we're all in it together.
Halfway through the season, the Mackenzie Tour PGA Tour Canada headed back west to Edmonton, Alberta for the Syncrude Oil Country Championship presented by Acon. Patrick Newcomb, who started his final round 1 shot off the lead, found himself 4 shots behind leader Max Rotloff after the front 9. But Newcomb pulled it together and finished even with Rotloff, forcing play into overtime. After trading pars for the first 3 playoff holes, the 27-year-old from Kentucky finally converted a birdie, taking home his first Mackenzie Tour title of the year. And Newcomb also became the first player in history to win on both PGA Tour Latino America and the Mackenzie Tour PGA Tour Canada.
I came up here to win. A win really solidifies you and puts you in a good spot to get to the web. After 3 tough years, this year has been the year for me to get to the web.
At the ATB Financial Classic, a new champion walked into the clubhouse. Chase Wright fired a 15 under par for the week, and a 4 under 67 in his final round was good enough for the victory in just his 8th career start on the Mackenzie Tour.
Anybody that knows me knows I've kind of put myself through a lot, maybe the last year and a half. I've persevered, and I'm just really proud of myself more than anything.
And just like that, we were in Ottawa for the National Capital Open to support our troops, where Kentucky native Mark Blakefield caught fire in the final round, closing out the front 9 with 5 consecutive birdies. A testy up and down on 18 secured a 2-stroke advantage and the victory on his 8th career start on the Mackenzie Tour.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's been a pretty slow year, so I just tried to just keep moving, stay patient, just keep going, and it feels great that it finally paid off.
In 2017, Kimberley, BC's Jared Dutoit teed it up on the Mackenzie Tour PGA Tour Canada. In his first season as a professional, the 22-year-old made the cut in each of his 11 starts.
He's just a gamer. He just doesn't really have any weak parts of his game.
Jared obviously has proven himself on the golf course. What he did last year at the Canadian Open, I think, speaks for itself. I think that gave him a lot of confidence to come out here as a pro and succeed right away.
This year I've really learned that my best golf can compete with, just about anybody out here. It's certainly been pretty cool.
The Arizona State product posted 3 top 10s and 6 top 25s, and a T17 finish at the Freedom 55 Financial Championship was strong enough to secure the Dan Halderson Trophy and Freedom 55 Financial Canadian Player of the Year honors.
He's going to definitely go on to do some great things in golf. Just a really good kid, too.
He's got a big, bright future, and yeah, I wish him all the best.
I've gotten a little closer to learn how to be a pro, essentially, and having a schedule, getting to travel, and getting to play at home in Canada has been awesome. Obviously, I'm very thankful for this tour being here, and hopefully I can see where it takes me.
After the break, we sit down with the final 5.
It's been a huge step in my career, and I've enjoyed it every step of the way.
And then look ahead to the duel between the Mackenzie Tour PGA Tour Canada and PGA Tour Latino America in the 2nd annual Aruba Cup. All that and more next. This is the Mackenzie Tour PGA Tour Canada. With the season winding down and the race for the 5 heating up, the final 3 events on the schedule provided the perfect stage for that late season push. Starting in Cape Breton for the Cape Breton Open, where Patrick Newcomb picked up his 2nd title of the year with a birdie on the 72nd hole.
Winning, that was the whole point of coming up here. Beating great players, means a lot, but for me, it's been about staying within myself, staying patient, because I've been striking the ball so well. I think I can beat anybody. You have to think that way, that you can beat anybody at any time.
The Kentucky native solidified his position in the top 5 with the victory. The Mackenzie Tour PGA Tour Canada then landed in Barrie, Ontario for a brand new event, the Ontario Championship hosted by National Pines Golf Club. It was the last chance for players to earn a spot in the field of 60 at the season-ending Freedom 55 Financial Championship. But the competition featured an overtime duel between 2 of the top 5 in the order of merit, Johnny Ruiz and Kramer Hickok. Hickok, who had to shoot an incredible 16 under on the weekend to even get into the playoff, survived the extra 4 holes to hoist his 2nd trophy of the year.
I felt awesome. Heading into the weekend, I was trying to shoot 16 under. That was the goal. To be able to shoot 16 under on the weekend when you set that goal is pretty awesome. I've never done that before, even close. So it's a step in the right direction and not another 2nd place. I'm happy about that.
The victory, which was his 5th top 5 of the year, all but locked up the #1 spot on the order of merit and Web.com Tour status for 2018. And with the #1 position nearly a lock for Kramer Hickok, the drama at the Freedom 55 Financial Championship revolved around who would fill in the rest of the top 5. Robbie Shelton, Johnny Ruiz, and Patrick Newcomb all played well enough to hold on to their positions. But the surprise came from California's Rico Hoey. The 21-year-old closed out the season with his first career victory, a win that propelled him into the top 5 for the first time all year and earned him a trip to the Web.com Tour. 2017 was a great season of competition. 12 weeks producing 10 worthy champions, 5 of whom earned Web.com Tour cards and a chance to chase the dream.
I'm going into the Web.com. I'm just really excited, and I'm just going to take full advantage of it.
It feels amazing. It's been so much fun up here. This is the 4th year for me on this road. I was almost done. Average rest of my year away from hanging them up. Not even playing professional golf anymore. Just amazing to have a chance to play on the Web.com next year.
This is what we all dreamed of when we started this summer. Just to be the top 5 is incredible.
It's been a long journey, a lot of ups and downs, but what I really learned about this tour is so special is you really develop as a player. It's just a great stepping stone and learning how this game works on this level, and I think it's been a huge step in my career, and I've enjoyed it every step of the way.
It was my goal for the whole year to be top 5, and it feels really good to accomplish that.
Finally, I get to show off something.
I feel like I'm one step closer to achieving my dreams of going on to the PGA Tour, and you got to start off somewhere, and I'm glad I started off here.
If you're shooting really good scores in practice and you're shooting really good scores in smaller tournaments, you just need that one event to break through.
It's a dream come true. That's what we've been working for, just to have this and to to have a chance to play out there on the web is what you want.
Perfect future would be getting through the web.com next year, first try, and getting a win or two, and kind of picking up where I left off on this tour, just knowing that I belong. It's another avenue to the web.com. And if you just get that other chance to play on the web.com, you're going to do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Aruba Cup.
While the official season may be over, there's still one more event on the books, the Aruba Cup, which will take place December 11th through the 16th on this One Happy Island.
One Happy Island has been our mantra. It's actually part of our DNA. So for our guests, obviously what we want them to experience is how we have the island way of life, and that it becomes contagious and rubs off on them. They can then come here to disconnect while connecting with their loved ones.
Last year, the top 10 available players from the Mackenzie Tour PGA Tour Canada went head-to-head against the top 10 from PGA Tour Latino America in a President's Cup-style showdown, contested in 4-ball, foursomes, and singles matches.
To have the opportunity to play with 10 of some of the best on the tour here in one of the most beautiful places in the world, there's no complaints from my end.
With regional pride on the line, there were fireworks and festivities.
It's kind of a celebration of our year, being able to be in that top 10, and we're just going to have a lot of fun and then see what happens at the end of the week.
To be able to represent the tours in this fashion, it's a great honor.
Last year, the PGA Tour Latino America team took home the title. Can the Mackenzie Tour PGA Tour Canada team even the score in 2017? Find out during the Aruba Cup.